Hi, this is Valerie Hellerman, and I'm the host of Everybody's Business. We're here live in Samos Island in Greece. We're working at the Samos refugee camp. I have here with me Alex Severin. Alex is a refugee from Ghana that Hands on Global met last year when we were working at the Moria refugee camp on Lesbos Island. We have brought Alex in to work with our team here in Samos, and I'm going to ask Alex some questions about the conditions here in Samos. Hi, Alex.
Hi. Okay.
Welcome.
Thanks.
So, Alex, you yourself are a refugee.
Yeah.
How long have you been a refugee?
I've been a refugee for 8 months now.
And you came from Ghana?
Yeah.
And how did you come from Ghana to Greece?
I came to Turkey in the first place, and from Turkey I came to Greece.
Did you come over on a boat?
Yeah, I came by boat.
How was that boat ride?
Very, very scary and risky.
Risky? How many people were on the boat with you?
We were 44 on board.
Did you have a life jacket?
Not everyone.
Oh, that must have been really scary.
Yeah, very scary.
And then you were brought to the Moria refugee camp on Lesbos?
Yes.
And that's where we met.
Yeah, that's where we met, yes.
You were volunteering to be a translator, and you were so helpful to us.
Thank you so much.
So you spent how many months in Moria?
I spent close to 4 months
in Moria.
Yeah.
And then what happened? How were you able to leave Moria?
Yeah, I left based on my being a vulnerable.
Being a vulnerable person?
Yeah.
Okay, and what does vulnerable person mean?
Vulnerable means either you are somehow sick, either you are maybe somehow mentally not sound in many ways. Mm-hmm. Less privileged, let me put it that way. Yeah.
Okay, so you got a vulnerability status, and you were able to leave Moria.
Yeah.
And where are you now living?
I'm living in Athens now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were very lucky that we were able to have you come with us to Samos Island here.
It's my pleasure.
And it's our pleasure to work with you. You've been so helpful.
Thanks so much.
Alex has organized many leaders of the different groups in the camp to work with our jungle medical camp. So Alex, coming here to Samos, tell me a little bit about the impressions of this camp here on this island.
To me, I think it's not that good for any human being to live on that camp.
What's it like here? How do people live?
People should live in a more comfortable way. People should not be overcrowded in this this small place. Call that how do we call this? A camp, refugee camp. Instead of housing people like 600 plus, it's rather housing people over 5,000, and it's not going to be a good place for any human being to live.
So there should only be 600 here, and there are 5,000 people?
Yeah, 5,000 people on this island. Yeah.
And where do most of the people live?
Most of the people are living in jungles.
In the jungle? Yeah. And what are they living in tents?
Yeah, they're living in tents, yeah.
And I know it's very rocky and very uneven ground.
Yeah.
So, how are they sleeping in the tents? Are they sleeping on the ground?
They're sleeping on just normal pallets, and with some, they give them this sleeping bags. That's the only thing that they put on the pallets and they sleep on.
So they're sleeping on slatted wood pallets.
Yeah.
That must be very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
When a refugee arrives in the Samos refugee camp, what are they given?
You just get one brush for the one paste brush.
Toothbrush.
And paste, and they give you one sleeping bag, and I think that is it.
So they give you a sleeping bag,
Yeah.
but what about shelter?
You know, people are too much, to contain. So after you just handed over those things, maybe you need to see your community people where you are from. We have community leaders out here. So the only people that might notice you are in the campus, your people where you are from. They are those are the people that can help you out. After you hear, that's it.
So basically, people, if there's no room in the camp ISO box,
Yeah.
which houses like 26 people,
Yeah.
then they have to go to the jungle and find people from their
Yeah.
home country.
Yeah.
But they're not given shelter, they're not given a tent.
From what I heard from the people living on the camp, those who just came recently, from their experience, that's how they told me
So
that is happening to them.
okay, so actually the point I want to really make is that people are not given shelter. They're given a sleeping bag and a toothbrush and toothpaste, but not shelter. They have to find their own shelter
Yeah.
in the community,
Yeah.
in the jungle.
Yeah.
Can you tell me how people are eating? Is
It's also very, it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing. You just take a 1.5 liter bottle of water and this small bread for the whole day. And it's not easy to even get access to that food.
so a person gets only one
Water.
1.5 liter bottle of water a
Water,
day,
yeah.
each person.
Yeah.
And is there any place to refill that water?
Sometimes the taps runs off, and sometimes they will need to go just up the hills. There's a rocky distance that water flows from it. That's the only.
Is it
option that-
clean?
I've not seen it myself.
Okay, okay. And the food, there's long food lines.
Yeah, very long.
How long does a person?
Some people don't even have a chance to get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I saw in the morning people get a piece of bread,
Yeah.
a round like chapati type
Yeah.
bread and juice,
Yeah.
and that's all.
That's all.
And then is there lunch and
Yeah,
dinner?
there's lunch and there's dinner,
Mm-hmm.
and most of them complain the foods that they get for the lunch and for the dinner, they are not well cooked, and it's not good for even. One guy told me about, even he gave his the cat that a pet that he had, he gave the pet one of the meat to eat, and the pet never tasted it.
So the pet wouldn't eat it.
Wouldn't eat it. So how much more will a human being eat?
Yeah,
So
yeah. Plus having to wait on a long line.
yes.
So some people in the camp are able to cook.
Yeah, some people are able to. Those that don't get a chance to get foods,
Okay.
yeah, they depend on that their small money that they give them for the month.
Okay, so each refugee
Yeah.
who's an adult
Yeah.
over 18
Yeah.
gets how many euros a month?
90 euros a month.
90 euros. That's very little money. That's less than $100,
Yeah.
I believe, or just about 100 US dollars. So those people, do they pool their money to buy some food to cook?
Yeah, they do it together because one person cannot depend on that money for the whole month.
Okay, okay. And it's been really cold here
Yeah.
on the island.
Yeah.
How are people doing with this cold?
It's not easy. It's not easy for them. Without people coming out to help them out, it's not easy for them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So what do they need? What do these people
They
need?
need many things. They even need to leave this place.
When can they leave this place? So a refugee arrives here, they register, they get their police card,
Yeah.
which registers them as a refugee in Greece. Then what happens?
After that, you need to follow the process.
And what is the process?
Process is after you get all these things, you need to be maybe your interview that you're going to undergo. You need to know the interview need to be based on facts first, or or you need to be vulnerable,
Okay.
or else there's no way you're gonna leave this camp. There's no way.
So in the interview, how long does it take a person to get the interview after they've arrived here?
It depends. Some people take 2 months, some people take 3 months, but now most of them are complaining that the interviews have been scheduled to, 1.5 years, or then some of them also have a year-long waiting of,
So this is March of 2019,
yeah,
and they haven't been given interview dates
Yeah.
until
20
until when?
2020
2020,
and 2021.
2021.
Yeah,
So they're virtually stuck
yeah,
on this island
Yeah.
until that interview.
yeah.
And when they have that interview, they get a stamp,
Yeah.
a black stamp or a red stamp.
It depends on your outcome.
Okay, so if you get a black stamp, what does that mean?
If you get a black stamp, it means maybe you have the blue. It may be either you'll be given the blue stamp or you'll be given the black stamp. And the black stamp means residence, and the blue stamp means maybe 6 months.
And then you reapply?
Yes, and you still go on with your asylum process.
Okay, and what about the red stamp?
The red stamp means that you are being rejected.
You've been
After the interview, if you still have a red stamp after the interview, it's a rejection.
a rejection. And what does that mean that you're rejected?
It means your case is they do not consider your case to be valid.
And what happens to the person?
The person may be, sent back to wherever he came from.
And for some people, that's a death sentence.
He doesn't care.
They don't care. That's very difficult. Okay, what would you like people in America to know about being a refugee?
Yeah, being a refugee doesn't mean maybe that person has, that is a different human being altogether. We are all the same.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing we must all know that in life, many of us, many countries, they were built by refugees. So I think maybe if someone being a refugee, if that person is being given the chance to prove himself, maybe that person can be more valuable to the country. And I think everyone should be given that chance to show who he really is. And people shouldn't be sent away from this long journey of these waters, this deadly voyage. And you still send the person back. How do you want the person to live again?
Yeah.
It's very bad.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Do you feel that Europe or America is rejecting you as a refugee?
I think no one is rejecting, but it depends on the laws that most of the countries have placed on we refugees. It depends on their laws and how the asylum seeking procedure for every country is different. So I cannot say this country is rejecting or doing this or other way around.
Yeah, that brings up another question I have. So I know that the UN has a refugee determination status group, and you mentioned that different countries are rated differently.
Yeah.
So like there's definitely a war in Syria and in the Congo.
Yeah.
So I know those two countries,
Yeah.
people who come from those countries have a better chance
Yeah.
because they're rated as active war zones.
Yeah.
Now your country, Ghana,
Yeah.
how is that rated?
Yeah. That's the difficulty that we people from Ghana we get. We've been tagged that there's nothing going on in our country. But individually, people have their personal problems that, it's more even dangerous that maybe you may not know. Yeah, so we shouldn't be saying that maybe Ghana is has nothing to do with wars and has nothing to do with, conflict. So people don't have their personal problems. There are things going on that people get killed because of that things. So I think people should be, given the chance and to tell their story, and even if they should understand them in every way, because no one will cross these waters for nothing.
No one crosses the waters
For
for
nothing,
nothing.
yeah.
No. Would you rather be in your home in Ghana?
If I had the chance, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't leave Ghana because you wanted to.
No.
No. Did you have a happy life in Ghana?
Yeah, I did have a happy life.
I know. So most people have had a happy life in their homes
Yeah,
until war or something has happened.
yeah.
So Ghana is not a country with obvious conflict, although there's a lot of politics that cause people to be unsafe.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, very true.
And are there many countries like that, particularly in Africa?
Yeah, there are many countries. Yeah.
Okay. So here in Samos, there's many Africans.
Yeah.
And do you feel, you've been in Moria,
Yeah.
which was more Arabs?
Yeah.
And
More of Arabs to Africans.
yeah.
Yeah.
How does that feel different here?
Yeah, I think with this situation here, I think there are more favoriting. They have some countries that they favor them more than others.
They favor some countries
Yes.
more than others.
Yeah.
Like what countries?
Like people from war-torn countries. They do favor them because they have a problem that everyone in the world knows that they have it.
Right.
But I think that shouldn't be the case.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, as I said earlier on, they favor them too much because they know their problems publicly. But someone also has a personal problem that is very dangerous. It has a danger on his life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Alex, is there anything that you would like people to know about this situation, and what do you think we can do to help?
Yeah, I think Europe and the UN, everyone that participate in the United Nations, I think people have been stuck here in this refugee camp, and they've been here for nothing. I think their stay here should be, they should be left to go and do whatever they want to do.
In another country?
No, even if they will need to go to the mainland, here is an island, they have nothing doing here. There's no work, there's nothing that they will do to help themselves. And at least if people have been let to go on the mainland, at least they can work.
So my understanding here in Greece, that the Greek economy is still very bad from their problems several years ago. Is it difficult to find work in Athens? I mean, for Greece lets refugees come.
Yeah.
Many countries have closed their borders, and so I have great respect for Greece in bringing people in. I think it's difficult for Greeks to have many refugees come and take jobs. So I see that as kind of a conflict. Do you?
I think it depends too.
Okay.
There are some people that employ people to work in Greece, and they are refugees too.
Great.
Yeah. We have some people working at the recycling companies. We have some people working at the restaurants, at the hotels, and they are all refugees.
Oh,
So
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
So you're a journalist, right?
Yeah.
And have you been doing any writing?
Not yet.
Not yet?
No.
Are you going to write a book?
Yeah, something to come. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, Alex, it's been wonderful to talk to you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And I will certainly tell all my friends about how nice it has been to work with you and about this refugee situation.
Yeah.
So thank you, Alex.
You're welcome.
Okay, so thank you from Everybody's Business, and we will be trying to send some images of the camp, and that's it for this week. Thanks.